Live from Fred Savage's fever dream about monsters to repress sexual abuse. This is the Way of the Future podcast. This week we will be discussing It's Always Sunny, Season 11, Episode 4, Magicians, Episode 1 and 2, American Crime, Season 2, Episode 4, and The X-Files, Season 10, Episode 1 and 2. And yeah, it is a lot of TV.
Tons of TV.
We will start with It's Always Sunny.
This one was funny.
Yeah, this one was funny.
I wanna actually buy some of that art.
I've heard the art conversation for a long time of what is art, and I'm pretty sure anything is art at this point.
Well, I think the base definition is anything that's manipulated by a human.
Yeah, it's just been created.
Yeah.
So I've
that could be anything.
Wasn't one dude's he was making a statement about it, but I remember one artist was he went out and he bought a toilet and then he just set it on its side and he's like, art. Yeah. And that's kind of what this is all commenting about. Also kind of delving into
by
Dennis's
that standard, does that mean that fucking trash dumps are art?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's people that take pictures of garbage heaps and then they sell the pictures for tons of money.
I was gonna say, as long as somebody said it was art,
see, that's
then
different.
yeah,
That's
would
the
be.
picture then. That is the art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the other one you can't own it.
Yeah.
Actually,
it's a fuck ton of garbage. You can't.
Because
own
that's
that.
I don't think. I personally don't believe photography is art. I think the image itself is art, but the act of catching the image is just that. It's just the act of catching an image, you know.
I think photography's art.
I don't. I don't think
that's
that.
your opinion.
You can manipulate it afterwards, but I don't know if I'd even consider that photography.
Some people like the garbage thing. I was watching a documentary about this lady that went to garbage heaps. She got all this garbage and then she formed it into this one giant fucking thing, and then she took a picture of it because you can't how the fuck are you gonna
What's the
transport
thing?
that
She's
thing?
making an art sculpture,
Yeah.
or a junk sculpture. Then
Right. And then she sold the picture.
Mm-hmm.
You can sell literally anything. People sell blank canvases and shit, dude.
Yeah. It's weird.
I really like Frank as the little art goon.
I
Yeah.
want to see more of that movie. Smut movie.
Oh god.
I'm pretty sure she does stuff in it.
What did he say? Gobble my cock, bitch, or something like that.
Smell my farts.
I don't know.
Get to gobbling.
Richard Grieco looks weird. He's had way too much plastic surgery.
Yeah.
He looks like he's dying.
A woman's mouth's not for the exiting of words.
Interesting and exiting. What's the difference?
So that pretty much sums up that episode.
Yeah, it was pretty.
It doesn't really.
It had some stuff, but I mean,
They referenced a couple of things.
You got
Charlie
to see
acting like
Richard
Richard Grieco is funny. He's
Yeah.
big bro.
You got to see Dennis's weird sexual side go even weirder.
Dude, that's not nearly as weird as he usually gets though.
Yeah, but it's a little more light on the subject.
Yeah.
You could tell he thinks 50 Shades of Grey was good. Yeah, Dee got to be in a porno, but didn't know she was actually in a porno.
Just because Grieco was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how was she to know? I mean, all she was doing was bartending in it, it looked like.
Then the Rico started getting blowed right in front of her.
Yeah,
but it's an
yeah.
artsy movie.
She's like,
sometimes
"This is art, you hoser."
Yeah, sometimes they do art and
Yeah,
stuff.
I definitely like the hoser part too, because any mention of Rick Moranis is a good thing for me. Yeah, he got raped.
He got raped by Rick Moranis' female
body
doppelganger.
double, yeah.
Dennis looked ridiculous as a little kid too.
Those are real pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
He looks creepy. He had a little fro going on. Little curly locks.
I think that the art that Charlie and Cricket made together at the end would have been better if Cricket's head hadn't have been in every single one of them.
No, the one
No,
where it
I liked
wasn't
all
his
the
head.
cricket.
The Rat King.
I like
No,
the
Rat
one
King
of him
and-
getting raped,
I
but
Being in the dog orgy.
the
I
rest
like-
of them though is just that's a cricket, that's a cricket, and I'm like.
But the two dogs, and then the stuff was all jumbled up in the inside.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be the orgy rape scene, Tasmanian Devil style. But I liked the way it looked. I thought it was pleasing to my eye.
That's the second time that Cricket's talked about dogs.
Yeah, he likes
Yeah.
stuff to him.
He's completely fucked in his head. I think he likes getting raped by dogs.
I think he's definitely my favorite
I think
character.
that's how he makes money, at least.
Dog orgies.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
People were interested. That lady seemed interested.
I don't think he does it without like provocation at least.
How many bottles of beer will you give me?
But
I fuck these 3 dogs.
no, but what I meant though with Cricket is, or with like, I thought the art would be better basically.
Oh,
Like,
but Charlie was drawing it.
No, not the
You
not
mean
the way
the-
it looked. I meant like the subject matter.
Oh.
Like, because there's a lot of ground for Cricket to cover, basically. At least from what we've seen, there could have been shit with like a Thanksgiving fire.
I was
going
gonna say
on.
a fire.
There could have been shit with
you're right,
a
yeah.
trash can like
Everything
getting
was-
him. There could have been
yeah.
one with like people hunting him.
Everything was centered around him getting raped by dogs.
Yeah, and also his faith being lost.
Well, they didn't even go over like most of them. They
Or
only talked about
or
like,
D
3 or
making
4,
him eat
right?
the dog turd. There's just a lot of ground, and I thought maybe that the art would
I don't
reflect
think they
that.
wanted to put that much thought into it even.
Aw.
They
That
just
would've
had
been nice,
they had
though.
like a bunch of different people do those. They're just like draw something.
I just thought that there was gonna be like incredible ass art. I thought that they were like gonna like kind of joke around that it wasn't gonna be good, and then there's gonna be like
Rembrandts.
fucking masterpiece. Not looking really good, but like at least for like alternative style art, abstract, very abstract.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much that is all there is to say, I guess. Then
Yeah, it's just a 30-minute. I mean, it's still better than the first 2.
that's all that these movie turned into, huh? Like they filmed that weird shit with
Didn't even
Rico
put
and
it
the
in
big titted chick, and then it just turned into
Yeah,
her
they
like.
didn't even put it in it because they
Yeah.
never
Yeah,
got
she
they never
just
got
busted Dennis on being raped.
it. Yeah, they never got the scene finished because he kept fucking up the lines.
Poser.
And eating the seaweed.
Yeah.
And then he got like
And then he
got
wanted
a
some
stomach
chalk.
ache. Yeah.
You take a chalk break?
I remember I bit some chalk when I was a kid, and I know there's different types of chalk, but it fucking hurts, dude. It's like really hard shit sometimes.
Yeah, I tasted chalk once and it doesn't taste good.
It
I've
doesn't
never
taste
eaten
good,
it.
also.
It's like baby powder.
Yeah, it's gross.
You
Yeah.
ever get, like even the smell of baby powder is enough to know the taste of it. Like
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, like, there's a lot of like shit that I. This sounds bad, but like, there's a lot of shit I put in my mouth as a kid, like change.
And shit.
Yeah.
shit covered change.
I'm pretty sure I ate a booger or two for sure. But yeah.
Or
Thanks
3.
for
or
sharing.
4.
Okay, so we'll move on.
What's the next one?
The Magicians.
Okay.
Alright, this is
Well-
the new sci-fi show.
Yeah, just came on. How long has it been on? Like 2 weeks?
Yeah,
No.
2 weeks, I guess.
It was
Or
a
one-
double premiere.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yep.
I'll be the first one, I guess, and say that I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of fun. The story is not too serious.
I'm not so sure I like all the characters yet. Like I'm 50-50 on a few of them. Like that the earring chick that did the battle magic.
Yeah.
And also the dude that I guess talks to the beast, or the beast talks to him at least.
Oh, the Indian guy.
Yeah, I'm-
Nurse Jackie.
He's psychic.
Yeah, I'm just. I mean, like character-wise, though, I'm not sure. I'm like very hot on them yet. Like sold completely. I feel like they might just be meat still. Like something that we're getting to know them, but they might just die fairly soon.
Maybe.
I think the girl will, but the guy's gonna turn into his friend.
Yeah.
Who? Oh,
His
okay.
old roommate, because at the end it showed him moving into the other building.
Yeah, that guy's actually a pretty. He's becoming a well-known actor. In
I was gonna say
TV
I've seen
series,
him in
so-
a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah,
I thought.
he was on Nurse Jackie, and he was on. some
Oh
other
yeah,
shows.
he is a Nurse Jackie.
You just don't recognize him because he doesn't act the same at all. He's
Well,
actually a good actor.
I don't
from what it
recognize him
seems.
because he was only in like the first 1 or 2 seasons, also, wasn't he? And then he just left.
No, he's still in it.
What?
Nurse Jackie's over.
He was also. Oh, did it finally end?
Yeah,
I could have
ended
sworn he was
la-
only in a
like
few
last summer.
seasons.
Wasn't he a
He was
drug
a drug
addict
addict
too?
too,
And
yeah.
she turned him in. I thought
He was like, I know you're high.
Yeah, so he was only in there for a little bit.
I think he's still there.
No.
Wasn't he dating one of the people?
No.
No,
that
that was
doesn't matter anyway. I
It-
thought
that
he
was,
a good
that was the
actor.
black dude
Yeah, no,
that
he
was
was a good actor.
going out with Chloe.
I thought
because,
they were gonna become friends and like
Do
not
drugs
just
together.
No, like try and keep each other from doing drugs.
That show was just
Yeah,
man.
I like Nurse Jackie.
no, I liked it too, but there was just some unrealistic shit in there.
It's
Yeah.
better than some
She
shows
would have
I've
gone.
watched.
She would have gone.
Yeah.
to
I'm not
prison.
sure I'm like a big
Yeah,
fan of
she's
it,
in big trouble.
but
Her,
yeah, it was
her
okay.
and what's his name, the pharmacist. She was
Eddie?
Yeah, Eddie. Yeah,
there were a few.
they
Yeah,
both
he's
would have
fucked.
gone to prison.
Oh, definitely Eddie.
Big
Definitely him.
time. Big time.
There were a few people in that show that I did like though. I liked Chloe quite a bit. I liked God. the crazy dude that was fucking screaming at people on
Hardly
the
showed him
streets.
that much. He even drew that mural on the top.
That's
of
kind of the
building.
best part, though.
Yeah.
Like, it was like when he showed up, it was always a treat.
But yeah, like, I don't know. I felt like this show reminded me a lot of Being Human a little bit. Like the beginning of Being Human, where it was kind of playful and it made you like the world. But at the same time, like, I just felt like some of the dialogue was so cheesy and on the nose.
I don't know if it tried to make me like the world at all. Like, it seems like...
The magic part of it.
Yeah, the magic part.
Kind of, but
Like, you're not supposed to like the normal
They're
world.
constantly, like, telling you, though, like, you know what? Magic is like a quick trip to Death Town, you know? Like, it's very, very dangerous. Almost every character
That almost makes it
that
better,
comments
though.
on it,
Yeah.
Like-
Why are they there then, playing
It-
with the magic and
Yeah.
enjoying it?
they're doing it because, like,
Fucking
at
gay ass
least...
hand movements.
Well, what I got out of it...
Hara.
Yeah.
'Cause I was thinking that same thing too, like during their dialogue and like the way they were talking, it was kind of eclectic, like all of them. But like that's what they also said to the people was like, that's why you feel weird in the real world is because you are this type of a person, you know, and that's the type of person that they are. Like the people that I guess are willing to risk their lives to fucking make shit fly around in the air and stuff.
Yeah, I thought that kind of stuff was kind of lame, like the force moves that they were doing on each other, like practicing. It just looked kind of dumb.
You talking about the battle magic?
Yeah, but I don't.
No, it wasn't
Everybody was in
battle
that
magic.
quad
It was like
area.
the Tai Chi bullshit, Tai
Yeah.
Chi
Doing all
raver
the
dancing.
Stupid hand movements.
Yeah, it
Oh,
just looked
yeah.
like they were at a rave, but the lights were
It
on,
looked like
and they didn't
a
bring
very
their gloves.
lazy version of what they try and do in like Naruto and stuff, where they do the hand signs.
They
Yeah.
did a lot of slapping.
Yeah, it did look like that. It was-
J.K. Rowling in the face.
Yeah,
Like,
I was gonna say
was, like,
it
two
actually
things.
sounded like what I always asked for was like a more adult, more serious like Harry Potter
I didn't feel
type
that
premise. I do think it is right down to the school.
there's a mysterious like prophesized youth that goes to a magic school and they get
And there's a
separated into
bad
different
guy.
houses. Like,
There's a bad guy, and they won't call him by his actual name.
He's the beast.
they don't know what it is.
They call
Well, I
him
know, but
the
they
Beast,
just
but
say
they said there
he
was
and
many.
stuff like that. Like,
Because
Technically,
Yeah.
they haven't like even said that it's a person yet, even though I'm pretty
I
sure
think
it's a fucking
I
person.
think it might be that girl's brother.
yeah,
Okay.
that's what I
Like an
think
evil
you
too.
think
magician
it's
now.
that? I think it's one of the Chatwins.
Which
I think
girl?
I think it's one of
It
the.
could be the blonde girl. Remember they were trying to summon her,
Her
dead
brother,
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
when that guy got let out.
and he disappeared years before.
Yeah, because he got that.
But
I think it's-
But I was gonna say it could be one of them.
I
too.
think it's Charlie. I think it's the
Charlie Day.
No, Charlie Chetwin. You remember the three kids that like disappeared into the fucking
Clock.
the clock?
Yeah.
Okay, there was like, and they only talk about it for like a second, and those aren't even the people from the book, right? Those are the people that the books are based on.
Yeah, but they're the exact same people in the
Exact same people.
Oh, I thought that they said they named them differently.
No, they're the
Well, anyway,
exact same
like,
people in the book.
yeah, I think it might be the one that was like wounded from the war.
Mm-hmm.
He had all
and
these bugs around him.
you could tell also that the special effects got a little better from the pilot episode to the second episode because
Yeah,
you
it
couldn't.
Yeah, and some of
Because
the
you could
actors'
see
hair
parts of
got
his
longer.
face. You could see parts of his face, though, the beast's face with the fly or the moths all around him.
The part where the Indian dude has sex with the girl that looks like she goes to raves and has the
Mhm.
Where they
ear piercings,
floated.
where they were floating.
Yeah.
It looked really cheap because you could see the pole they were being vaulted with behind the cloth that they had because they
Well,
had
they
him
also
on.
are all moving weird.
I just thought
Yeah,
it
because
was-
they were on a very thin.
Mhm.
He had to hold her on top of him while they went up, so they were
Mm-hmm.
like both kind of like wobbly.
And
Uh,
it just looked like what they did in that other sci-fi
The Expanse.
show, The Expanse.
Which is, I felt
It
that way
looked
too. I was
better-
like, you guys are
better
just
The
using
Expanse.
tech that you guys just like love doing this now, huh?
Yeah, it definitely
Sex in the middle of the air.
sci-fi's thing right now.
Zero G booty.
Yeah, I mean that would be cool, but I think you would be like, if there was really zero G banging, you'd be like hitting walls and stuff.
I think that the Brook Bill, wait,
Break
is that
Bills.
Break Bills?
Breakville.
Break Bill's school. I think they might actually not be a good school per se. A good.
Well, you could hear
Yeah,
they're
quote,
they're
unquote.
completely neutral. Like I don't think because they're basically saying like it doesn't matter what you do with your magic. We're just teaching you.
No,
Yeah.
but what I mean though is like I think that it's gonna turn out that like the hedge witches or whatever that the other girl is grouped up with. I think that it might turn out that they're actually
The good
like
guys.
yeah in some sense of like good and bad.
The black dude?
What?
Is that Shacklebolt from Harry Potter?
Black dude?
The
Dean. Is he Shacklebolt? I know he's the leader of the Lambda fraternities from Vengeance.
That
of
was
Nerds.
not him. He looks kind of like him, but that wasn't him. I
It's
know
the
who you're
Shacklebolt,
talking
though,
about.
right?
Who's Shacklebolt?
Shacklebolt from Harry Potter, the black guy.
I don't know what
He
you're
becomes
talking
the
about.
Minister of Magic at the end of the book.
I really hate
Who read
Harry
the
Potter.
books?
I did read all of
Okay,
them, but
remember the Jamaican black dude?
I don't.
Yeah, I'm like, did you make him up? Perhaps?
No. I mean, I'm pretty. The name sounds familiar. I just don't remember him as a character really.
Okay. He becomes the Minister of Magic at the end of the book.
I knew that one guy.
Fuck
did
Harry
the
Potter.
Fucking what's his name?
So he's like
Fudge or
Obama?
In
whatever.
the movie, he's
Didn't.
in the movie. He's in the movies.
I've seen him in some other movies
Okay.
and like TV shows before.
Okay, I might be wrong, but he looks like him, and he also looks like the guy that is the leader of the Lambda chapter from Revenge of
He
the
does
Nerds.
look like him. He does, but that guy would. I'm not even sure that guy's still alive.
I don't know.
That guy was in his
black
like
don't crack,
late
so it
50s.
could be him.
He was on. He was in his late 50s. That guy does not look like he's in his 80s. I'll put it that
That
way.
guy's
Okay,
pretty
so-
old. He's
So when the
He was
demon-
not 80.
So when that beast thing went and like took the dean's eyes,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought that he was like. I thought that since the thing didn't seem to have a face at all yet.
he was gonna use it to make his own face.
Yes, I thought he was taking organs from people so that he could speak and use his, and like communicate in the world, but he totally wasn't.
He was just
taking
taking
eyes
away
out.
That
that
would have been
guy's-
awesome.
I thought
actually.
he was gonna like fly into him.
He was just taking
Yeah.
away that guy's ability to use magic. I think in any way.
Yeah,
So he couldn't see or use his hands.
or speak.
But he could speak. It's just he can't. Like,
I-
how are you gonna direct him?
I got
Oh,
a
we don't
different
know what it
feeling
is.
from that. I figured that was like his trademark. Like that's just what he does to people for some reason.
He's like, ooh, I don't like this guy's googly eyes, so
well,
he
he
took
does
him out.
leave, he does leave the happy faces everywhere.
That was funny.
It's either that,
That
or
was
he's,
actually funny.
It's either that or he's just crippling the fuck out of him. He's just like, I'm
I have
gonna
a
do
feeling
this.
he
I'm gonna
might-
break his hands. I'm gonna take his eyeballs out.
If he is the brother or someone who went to the school before, he would know them and like have wanted to do something personally to them.
Give him
That's
a
why
Yeah.
he
smiley face.
killed the teacher too.
Mm.
Yeah, they killed the.
Dude, that
the
teacher was a
guy.
bad teacher anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seemed weak.
He was just spouting off a bunch of fucking German poetry right before he died. It was,
Yeah. Well, he just see that's kind of what I mean by like break bills might not be the quote unquote good school. It's because like they kind of seem like okay, they know that there's something up, like some weird shit going on in the background. But like you said, it's neutral. They just want to stay out of it.
So,
you
do
know?
you think the other school's gonna be the good school, the one that like almost raped the girl in the bathroom and then taught her how to
Yeah.
cut fat?
That was what I was thinking.
I think how do I put it? 'Cause
I do like that though. How like let's say compared to the Harry Potter universe, where it does seem like there's different factions all over the place. It's not just like oh Hogwarts is like the end all be all.
Yeah, but
Like, that
a
doesn't
different
even make
schools in-
sense.
There's different schools in Harry Potter.
Yeah, but okay. The school definitely seems like the center of everything. Like even when the bad guys all break out, what do
Right.
they do? They go take over Hogwarts and shit like
Yeah.
that. And it's just like, dude, in the real world, fucking elementary schools are the beginning of people's lives, not the fucking like center of everything. There would be like a grown-up organization that would. I guess they did take that over too, because isn't that where they busted into with the invisibility cloak area?
Yes.
Talking about the Ministry of Magic.
Yeah, and that would be like the adult Hogwarts, right?
Kinda. I mean, it's the
What,
it's
Ministry
the
of
magical
Magic? Yeah.
No,
government.
that's
It's
like
the government.
magical
It's their
government.
government.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean.
That's like the Pentagon for them.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I meant. It just.
I
Hogwarts-
noticed that the whole like getting tattoos of stars on your arms to signify how far you've gone in magic by that school is like a blatant ripoff of Adventure Time when they go to wizard school and then they get the cloaks and then if they
These
get
books were made a while ago.
I know, but
So
okay,
Adventure
so
Time
that's the other
might
way
have
around
ripped it
maybe.
off, yeah.
But did you see? Have you seen the Adventure Time
No.
episode? They have an episode where they go to wizard school and then this big frog is teaching them how to do magic. And then every time they level up in magic, they get a star on their cloak. And then he's
Yeah,
like,
it's
"How many
exactly
stars
the
do you
same.
have?" "I got 50."
Level 50.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so I
vaguely
don't
remember
see this
that.
guy being in Harry Potter anywhere. He was in a bunch of shows though.
Okay.
He was in Stargate, fucking Felicity.
He looks like Shacklebolt, the guy that plays Shacklebolt.
He was in Star Trek Enterprise.
Boo.
He was in.
Some people have similar looking faces.
He was
I
in
like those
Battlestar
people.
Galactica. He was in Heroes. He was
I'm like,
in-
dude, I've seen him somewhere. He might have been in Heroes.
He was in
so-
Supernatural.
Oh, who is he in Supernatural?
See?
Alpha Vampire.
He's
Yeah.
a
The,
vampire.
remember,
No, that's not the guy that
He
was
was
in
like the
Magicians.
main, like one of the
That
first
guy's got a
vampires.
fucking lazy eye, dude.
So what?
Yeah,
He's one
that,
of the
that
first-
no, that
he's
guy
one of
didn't
the
have
first
a lazy eye, is what I'm
vampires,
saying.
and,
It's
uh,
Magicians.
They were like
And that
captured.
guy's still too old.
He's in Man in the High Castle. Yeah, so you might remember him from.
Oh, he is that guy. The guy that owns the. Okay, yeah, he owns the. There's a diner he owns.
I'm interested to see where it's going, though. I wanted to maintain the level of violence, at least. Like people chopping up bodies and people losing body parts. And I want to see even worse injuries from magic. Like, all he did was it seemed like he dislocated his arm and maybe burnt himself, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see, like, people fucking melting.
Is it just me, or does his character seem like he's like even out of place there? But like he's
I
also
think it's supposed
like
to be like that.
he almost has like no personality.
Yeah. And I
Because
think
it's
that's
almost
kind of
like
it's
the
like Harry Potter syndrome.
not just Harry
Well,
Potter, but also
I think this one has more-
Twilight.
Yeah.
I don't think it has to do with any of that. I think that has to do with, like, basically a dude that's felt uncomfortable in, like, any situation. And like you said, even in this situation. And so he's learned to try and, like, act like people want him to. And so, yeah,
It's more of a case of if you're that uncomfortable, you withdraw. You don't just start acting different ways. You just try and be as not involved as
Yeah,
you
but
can.
he has people, like, pressuring him into doing shit also.
But it's-
like,
I think it's just
family
bad
and
writing.
friends.
Yeah, I think it's just bad writing. I think it's just the case of
I-
writing more interesting side characters than your main character.
I've
which
seen-
is a
Exactly.
problem. I have that problem as well.
I've seen people actually act like that in real life is the only reason I say, like, it could be like that.
Yeah, that's also the Twilight thing where it's done on purpose.
Yeah.
So that
Wait,
you
how's
feel
it like Twilight, though?
when they the person that wrote Twilight wrote the girl in such a way that any woman that read it could be that girl and associate with that girl and have something in common with her.
But by being vague,
Yeah, by being vague and kind of like
you kind of make the character unrewarding.
right. That's why in the show, in the movie, she's like so fucking deadpan.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, wow, she has like no emotion.
Yeah,
she
but
doesn't give a
like
shit.
by being deadpan, it like actually distances itself from that idea. Like by being deadpan, it creates a persona of a deadpan. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not just a blank slate anymore.
Well,
it's
that's
like,
where
oh,
you get
that's
into the existential question of
boring-
is nothing nothing or is nothing
Yeah.
something.
I think it's different. It's
Right.
harder to make a blank slate character that you can fill in the blanks with your subconscious in a movie than it is when you're writing, because a lot of like everything is your imagination with the book.
in the book. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, they do, but
yeah,
like
she
still,
looked
even
very
then,
mundane as a person.
even then though, like your version of like a book character is probably much different than any, or not much different, but at least different in the tiny details. That you're not seeing the same thing in your mind's eye.
I think the way that I saw Tyrion Lannister in Game of Thrones was a lot more dwarfish.
In the book,
And-
they talk about him being like disfigured.
Yeah.
like he can't hardly walk and shit.
I imagine him having like a chicken wing arm.
yeah. Or his legs doing all the like wobble, like
Curled in.
bendy stuff.
Yeah.
like some dwarves get.
Yeah. I imagine
Yeah.
him to have bowed legs and fucking like a chicken wing arm.
I mean, that's
and, like,
basically what they said. And they said like, and then after he got his face fucking cut
Yeah,
in
like
half,
that
they said
scar.
that he had like a giant, like it made his nose all weird and shit. It made him look even more like a monster.
I can
and,
get
like-
behind everything but the legs thing. Like just because like the legs thing, like
They
if
talk
he-
about it in
If
the
he was
book,
like
though.
those dudes that like could only get around in like a beanbag on wheels type chair,
they
you
said that he
know,
hobbled.
like.
Yeah, he like limps.
So
like
he must
like,
have one-
Limps, and he's
maybe
like
one leg
constantly
shorter than-
carried
Yeah,
on
I'm like,
a,
I'll take a
horse
short
all the
leg or
time.
even a gimp leg, but not like the weird, crazy, crooked legs, you know, like the.
as crooked as you can get and still be able to walk.
Yeah, which is
Okay,
possible.
there you go.
Like that's how they described it. Like he was. That's why his dad hated him.
Yeah, that's like how
'Cause he's like in every aspect.
some dwarves kind of like hunch or haunch when they walk. They like
They waddle.
they kind of have they have to like sway their body forward.
Yeah, because their knees don't bend right and
Yeah.
their hips don't move right.
And they're heavy because they have regular person size
Also,
organs. and
compared to
shit.
their legs, like
Well,
their center of gravity is all.
When he's
weird.
moving fast, Dinklage kind of sways, but I know
He
what
does,
you're saying.
yeah. He does waddle a little bit, but he's actually a handsome dwarf
Yeah.
compared to what the book.
I agree.
Yeah, he's like a fucking supermodel.
I can't
compared to
remember.
what the
I
book-
can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
he is.
describes him
He's
as.
like the best looking dwarf I've ever seen.
I can't remember what the fuck we were watching, but there's like a dude in it that looks like a normal sized Peter Dinklage. Like his
What?
face is like. We
Some-
were watching
some-
it. We made a comment
some
about
dwarves
it. Like
kind
I
of
can't
look
remember
like
what the
him.
fuck it was, but it was like nuts. It was like, oh my god, that's what he would look like.
Poor guy.
Full size.
Yeah.
It was Tom Selleck, wasn't it?
No.
But that's like I don't know. This magician show looks interesting. I'm gonna give it the
At
full
least
season.
2 more episodes.
So
I'm gonna give it the full season. I'm gonna watch
the real
whole thing.
the real
It's
hook
just-
for me was the Beast, right? Like, that's the real big question for me is, what is he? Is he one of the original kids that went into that clock? Is he a creature that they summoned from, like, some weird magic place? Is he one of the
11
people from the
episodes.
third year class, you know, that just
Or is he
fucking
the
90%
reason
of
why
them
the third year
disappeared?
class disappeared? Maybe.
Well, I assume that he is anyway. Like, even if he's one of those three things, I assume he's still tied to that class.
yeah.
It's cool. I mean, I
There's
like the
a
way
lot of
it looks
mystery
and-
going on.
Yeah.
Man, I thought
And I like that.
I thought that Ashley girl, the smart one, was like way too bitchy off the bat. I'm not saying that that's unrealistic, but like, good God, was she like
You know what she
really
is?
fucking shutting people down?
She was Reese Witherspoon in the election movie.
No, Reese Witherspoon tried to act nice almost, didn't she? But then it was like if you came up against her, then it was like, oh, you're fucked.
She
She'll
just-
eat you alive.
This like
She looks like
Ashley
Reese
girl just
Witherspoon.
has like a chip on her shoulder because like her brother disappeared. Nobody will like tell her what's going on, like how he was killed or whatever.
Her family,
And
they
she's
said
supposed to
was
just accept it.
her family. They said was like renowned in the magic community, right?
Yeah, but then she
So,
said
I'm
that
wonder-
they didn't help her at all learn magic. And
She
that
also
she's-
said that they were like crazy people, and that's what I
Yeah.
kind of wanted to also learn a little bit more about. It's like, why are these people like kind of like known as like good people or great people like in that community? But then she
Well, it
thinks
seems
that
in the
they're
magic
shit.
community that morals aren't as important as ability.
not at least not at
Like-
that school. At least not at that school. We don't know how it like works in the rest of the world per
Yeah.
se. And I assume that it's much bigger than what they've even shown us. Like the little witch society and the big school. I assume there's also other schools and other societies and stuff like that running around. Because then there's also that side shit for the Fillory stuff. It has nothing really to do with either one of those other groups. Or at least the Breakbills school acts like they don't know anything about it.
I think it has a lot to
That
do
one
with
teacher.
it, but
Hmm?
That
Yeah,
one
but
teacher, the lady who met him. as
she's
the
not a
paramedic-
teacher though.
as the
She's like a
paramedic.
plant. She's somebody else from like somewhere else. The black guy also like
Yeah, I know, but my point was is that they know about Fillory. Like,
Yeah.
the way
yeah
she
they
was
do,
talking about
but
it.
the school itself doesn't. Like I think that they're acting independently of whatever the goals or intentions of that school is or are.
Fillory is like a
Because
Harry
that
Potter-ish kind of girl or something.
well no
Fillory
it,
is
it
an
was more
al-
like Narnia.
It's an alternate reality
Okay.
where they went through that clock.
Yeah, but that
Fillory
girl
was
is
the world.
Okay, who was that girl?
Her
That
name
is
is
just-
Jane
One of the
Chaplin.
sister. It's the sister of the
something
two
like
boys that went in there.
Okay, because she keeps showing up with that dude, and it kind of like makes me feel like she's this like uber powerful wizard lady.
Mm-hmm.
But she seems like I don't really feel threatened by her at all.
Well, they said
Well, I mean,
what did they say?
She was
that-
real, so and if she was a magician, I mean, she's been a magician for like since the 50s.
Yeah, but what
Yeah.
did they say before she went in there? They said she was the skeptic.
Yeah.
So it was like the nerdy one was like the true believer. Then the war torn one just didn't have any beliefs whatsoever, and then she was the skeptic. So I still think the Beast is one of those two dudes, though. One of them,
Probably the one that doesn't have any beliefs.
or the one that was nerdy. Like, because when you believe that like in something so much before you actually know what it is, I feel like it can be manipulated.
Possibly. But we'll
but-
find out, I guess. It's going to reveal stuff.
Yeah.
hopefully.
I think the battle magic is kind of weird.
They're gonna have to think up some way about to get around the psychic stuff too, because
Psychic powers is
Remember
like trumps a lot of stuff.
that,
Psychokinetic stuff.
exactly
Kinetic
like
stuff.
like
No, the one dude, the guy who first met him when he came to the academy, I can't remember his name now.
he said there was a spell that could
He
keep
said-
him from getting in your head
Yeah.
or some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, still like I feel like what would you do that spell every day, or is it like one time you cast it and then you have to turn
They
it
didn't
off again? Or?
specify.
I guess it's like wearing that crystal. crystal
See,
charm.
yeah, like I don't know. It feels like that they introduced a type of person that would be all powerful.
Yeah, it's kind of an OP thing.
Oh well.
And
We'll
they
see.
were the physical kids, right?
Physical?
That's what they're called. Physical magic.
Those were the ones who
no,
can, like,
yeah,
were,
those
like,
were the rave
telekinetic
kids.
and-
Oh, and that's with those two people that are friends with the guy.
I honestly don't remember what the fuck they are.
They're physical kids. They
That's
said,
why they're always in that fucking party house.
yeah, they said like come to one of our parties and you don't come to one of our parties if you have something important to do the next day. That's what they said.
Yeah, but I didn't know that they still move shit. Like, that's what they
He
did.
called
Yeah,
it
they were-
physical house.
they were
like physical
dancing-
magic.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly. I don't think it's it might be telekinesis.
It showed them.
no, that's what
when,
he said it was. Because
that's
when
when
he was
they were,
saying
like,
he
fucking
killed that
levitating
kid
the
and
apples
pushed him in
and
front of the
shit,
bus.
like-
Yeah, they were dancing and then that all that stuff was moving.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that were like doing that circle were like doing like weather magic or some shit.
Yeah, that was the hippies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was like it looked like the same thing, kind of that he tried to shoot at the other guy, but just kind of like lower level, you know.
The battle magic?
It was called battle magic when he used it. Yeah, it kind of looked like that battle magic, but
That's-
just like
I think that's kind of a problem when something looks too similar to something else.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I just assume like the ones that the kids were doing with the hand motions and whatnot
Yeah.
were just like level 1, and then like battle magic would be like level 50 or level 20. You know, like
Would the school
that
even-
just maxed out.
Doesn't
though.
seem like the school teaches that though.
Not yet, at least. Like, you're definitely not allowed to use it. Like, when she used it, at least. It could get more interesting. I hope it gets more interesting. That guy is probably. What's his family like? Have they introduced his family yet?
No.
No, just none of them like probably know about magic at all, or if they do, they were keeping it from him.
Okay.
He was chosen.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Well, I mean, he
They
obviously
already
is.
said that in the beginning, that they're like gathering up like magicians and
But like, why was he chosen?
and that
Is the
he
question.
was like important.
But then, do you remember what she said to him when they were talking?
About when she gave him the book?
No, later on when he like thought she was gonna wipe his mind.
Yeah.
She said there's no destiny, there are no born heroes. There's no reason that you should have been chosen, like you should be targeted. Unless she's just telling him that so he doesn't give like a big head or something.
Yeah,
but-
maybe.
Well, I'm gonna say like she definitely seems like she's not really telling anybody the
The
true
truth.
truth. She's manipulating shit.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely seems like one of those things where you can't be led to the goal, you have to reach it on your own type bullshit. Everything she said actually is kind of like
But then
frustrating
she's
in that
telling
way.
him to
where
follow
it's-
the dream.
Exactly, like, but is she telling him that because she thinks that him doing that is the right thing, or is she telling him that so it'll lead him into something else that might not necessarily be him doing what's in the dream? And like, it's just one of those things where it's like everything out of her mouth may
passive.
have dual intention, you know?
Everything's like super passive. A lot of the dialogue is super passive. Like it can go either way, but most of the time it's like a neutral comment.
Where it's not revealing much.
Yeah.
It's kind of just giving you the like
It's kind of just let's
the
talk
next
for the
step
talk
of
sake
the plot,
talking.
but not
Yeah.
revealing what the full plot is.
Yes.
Because it's too early to know that. If you knew now what was coming,
You'd have no reason to keep watching.
no, not you,
Oh.
like the characters you.
And the
It
Hunger
would
Cast.
they would be put into danger or some shit like that. Is usually what the justification they come up with is like.
What's next? American Crime?
Yeah, American Crime.
We found out a lot of stuff, people, and I think we were all correct in our hunches.
Except for me and the coach, I'm starting to lean it away
My
from.
hunches are right.
I'm starting to lean away from the coach not having.
Just because he seems like a creep.
I wasn't actually joking. I thought.
Which one were you not creeping? Which one were you not joking about? What are you creeping about?
I was talking about. I was talking about the coach.
Oh, the coach being the one that did it.
Well, or having some part in it. Like he basically, in my mind.
Jesus, this coach does not get up like crazy angry about anything. Like he just
Yeah, he did.
No,
He
he
was-
didn't
well,
really
not
get angry.
not crazy angry, but he was yelling at those kids in the locker room at least.
That's because he's in trouble. But like,
Yeah, I'm like
Yes,
that. I'm like that
'cause-
meeting that they had with the team where he was trying to make it blatantly
He was
clear to
mad that they
them.
lied to him.
he's like, you guys,
Yeah,
I'm getting in trouble
exactly.
because
Like
Yeah.
he wasn't. Yeah, no, that's not why he was mad because they lied to him. He legitimately thought that the kids would have come to him. Like that's why he was standing up for them with what's her name, Felicity Huffman.
Yeah.
Like he was saying, like, no, they would have said that. They would have said that. And like at first, like I thought it was him just covering his ass. Like I thought it was him like knowing that like something went on there. And they did actually even like lead you to believe that, like directing wise, like where he's like, okay, guys, we're gonna talk about what happened that night, and then it just fades to black. You know, it leads you to believe that something went unsaid there, like that would have led you in the right direction.
Yeah, there was an orgy and a rape.
I still get a sense from him though that like
Something.
his main like
Something.
irritation is that he has to deal with it in the first place. Like almost like
Oh.
he's mad at the team for like
being
it.
stupid.
Well, for being stupid and it getting out.
No, I think
You
it's
know what
like
I mean?
he trusted them.
I think
and
he's
he
also-
feels betrayed.
He's also telling his daughter, like, you can talk to me about anything, you know, and I think that has to do with
Like him
what may have
knowing.
happened to her at the party 'cause
Yeah.
she was there.
Well,
him
it's because
knowing.
now he's afraid. He's all like, man, my team, which I thought could talk to me about anything,
Raped a bunch
lied
of
to me.
girls.
And now like I know my daughter's kind of a slut, so Now I better
Yeah.
be worried about what she's actually doing.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd be less worried about, like, she is a slut, don't get me wrong, but I'd be less worried about that and more worried about how fucking stupid she is. Like, man, I would be so afraid if my little girl was as stupid as she is. Everything, like, you say to her is just like, oh, you just keep saying dad stuff, dad, ha
Yeah.
ha ha.
Don't suck those dicks, little girl. And
It's
she's
like-
like, I'll show you, Dad. And then she goes and does it.
Not even like, I'll
Whoa.
go show you, but it's just like,
Goes to the truck
God,
stop.
Dad, you're just worried about me sucking dick, like, always. And then she does it, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's more like that.
That's what I mean. It's like, don't do that. Okay, I won't. And then she goes and does it.
Well, no, it's not even like that. She's so stupid that, like, even though she knows what his fears are founded, she still writes it off as like, oh, you're just a dumb dad.
Teenagers
this-
do that.
But this might
But
be. We've
not
already,
smart ones, I'll put it that way.
Smart ones do it too.
I've never met a smart teen that fucking did that with their parents. Never.
We've
Hang
already
out
been
with a lot of
misled.
teenagers.
We've already been
I was
misled
one once.
before with this a little tiny bit. So this girl might actually not be bad. She might be listening to her dad and just annoyed that he keeps bugging her about it.
Yeah.
So that
But
when we actually see a flashback to the scene where we go to the party, she might be one of the people that's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I still think that she's dumb.
I will rephrase
Even
that.
if she
She's not a
did.
slut. She's acting slutty.
Yeah.
Then
She's acting risque.
Yes.
I still have a problem with that.
She's an at-risk youth.
Yes.
she's
I don't think she's an at-risk youth. I think everything that could have happened to her was her own choosing. She went along with it. It's not like Taylor.
Taylor, though, we totally called.
Well, Taylor.
what do you
if-
mean?
Yeah, he
He-
set the thing up.
Yeah, he
Like,
set the whole thing
Oh yeah,
up.
we did call that. But I still think that it happened like he said. Like basically, like he went there for that, but he didn't want to like
Get
that
abused.
for that to happen.
So,
I
like,
straight up think at this point now it could have happened completely normally, and then he was so drunk he didn't remember and assumed he got attacked.
Yep.
or they drugged him because they were hazing him. Because
I'm pretty sure he was
wasn't.
still-
He wasn't part of the team.
I think he was drugged.
I don't think any
Yeah,
of the other
I think it
boys
was
know
true.
about that.
Yeah, they don't know about him getting raped and all that
Yeah.
shit. But I'm pretty sure one of them drugged him, and it might have been Kevin. To
Yeah,
fuck-
I'm like,
to
I
fuck with
think-
him.
What if the
I think
girlfriend drugged him?
Kevin has a whole lot
Okay.
to do with this.
No,
Maybe.
she's like I'm gonna.
I think you actually hit the nail on the head that Kevin put the drugs, did the drug part of it.
Yeah.
Because like I kept thinking like, dude, Kevin has something to do with this.
We
he
did.
has
We
to have
did
something to
see
do with
what's
this.
his name, Eric, taking some pills to
Yep.
try and kill himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That
he
wa-
had access to medications that could probably.
But
knock
it could have
her
been
out.
anything. You don't know what it is. Anything
Yeah.
you take with alcohol can kill
They,
you.
did they say they found GHB?
I don't
or
think they were
did
trying
not
to
find
kill him.
GHB?
They didn't
find
it,
anything in
but it
his
was a
blood
week
system.
later too. Also,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they did the test. I don't know if they're like trying to be that realistic.
That
but
stuff's not traceable after a certain point, right?
It's like almost less than a day. I think that GHB.
Most drugs are out of your system in like a day or two.
Yeah, but like the reason they do GHB is because it's like less than 24 hours, I think.
Yeah.
And there's other drugs that just don't show up.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Oh.
man, they could have just made him really drunk. He didn't
You know
have
who
to
we
be
got it
drugged.
from? John Stamos.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say John Cena.
No, John
They're
Stamos
going
got
to say Bill Cosby.
John Stamos got pulled over and
Uh-oh.
and arrested for driving intoxicated,
Okay,
and then
okay.
they found GHB in his system because he was trying to get cut for the series that he's on, Grandpa or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
He's on a series called Grandpa.
It's
Yeah.
like Grandfather to
That one
Grandpa.
fucking Disney kid is his unknown kid.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
That kid
Disney
has a
kid.
kid.
What the fuck is Disney?
The kid who was in fucking Snow Day and Zach and something.
Zach and Miri
He's-
make porno.
No, there's the two brothers or some
The
shit.
life
He's-
of Zach and Cody.
No, not
wait.
that one.
The Sweet Life.
Sweet Life. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Of Zach.
No,
and Cody.
no, because that's the one with the twins from
Yeah.
Big Daddy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
what
don't
we're
fucking
talking
know
about.
either.
I don't
But
watch
there's,
Disney.
he was,
Yeah, like, I
he was
don't
in a
know
Disney
either.
show where he had a brother that looked nothing like him, and it was like a redhead. But this kid was in Snow Day, and now he's super skinny. He was in that one movie about the
Oh,
ATM.
you're talking
he's
about,
the ATM, the movie about the ATM where like
It's
Oh
called
Taxi
yeah.
Josh and Drake.
yeah, Josh and Drake. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's one of them fuckers.
Yeah, so
Those
It's funny because all my knowledge of like those Nickelodeon shows, like the
From
real
commercials.
No, it's not even from commercials. It's from fucking working at GameStop and organizing the Nintendo DS section over and over again.
Yeah, he's
Horrible
John
shows.
Stamos's love child.
And John Stamos stayed at GHB to get cut for the show, and he got arrested for driving
To get cut, like, you mean working out?
Dude,
the thing that GHB
Or, like, cut, like,
GHB was not originally meant to be a date rape drug. It was a steroid, and what it does is it actually burns fat away and tones your muscles without needing to
What
work
was known
out.
as a horse tranquilizer?
I thought it
Yeah.
was, I thought it was
But-
to make you go to sleep.
But it's a horse steroid, but it makes you get
Okay,
like that.
okay.
So like that's what pro wrestlers use. That
Uh-huh.
they take it before they go to
And
sleep.
HGH too.
Right.
Like human growth hormone.
Yes, they take it before they go to sleep. Then they go to sleep like that, and then when they wake up, it's like they worked out all night.
Well, it's because you also, when you work out, your muscles don't start healing themselves until you go to sleep.
Right.
So, like, that's the only time that the muscle growth can actually happen.
Right.
And muscles, like, he might have wanted to get toned because you
Sorry.
can't build muscle without tearing it.
Right. So he was
So-
using that. so
Uncle
that he-
Jesse?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Uncle Jesse was
Stamos?
using GHB.
He might have just been wanting, like, a six-pack instead of...
Yeah, he was just trying to make himself look lean and good for television, and that's what a lot of actors do, I think, and they just not busted for it.
No
That's
more...
a stupid
no
ass
more
idea.
bulimia.
Okay, Chris Jericho in his book, in the very first Chris Jericho book, Around the World in Tights, he in spandex, sorry, Around the World in Spandex. He
In
talks
80
about
days.
he went to a pro wrestling gig in Japan, and he was like, "That's when they introduced me to GHB." And I thought I'd take it and then go do my match because I wasn't wrestling in it and I would be
Fall
fine.
asleep.
So he goes to the ring and it's like a lumberjack match. And a lumberjack match is when there's two guys in the ring
They
and then there's
lumberjacked
all the
him.
company. No, the whole company's wrestlers on the outside. And if one guy falls over, they all beat him up and throw him back inside the ring.
Yep.
He didn't know that.
No, he knows that's what a lumberjack match
Okay,
was, but
okay.
he just figured he wouldn't have to do anything. So he said, I walked out to the ring, and all of a sudden everything started spinning, and I started hugging the guardrail, or like not the guardrail, but the ring post.
Turnbuckle.
post.
Yeah, he was hugging the corner post, and he blacked out, and then he said the video footage was just him throwing up all over the entire
Whoa.
roster of the Japanese wrestlers, and then he blacked out, and they had to carry him, and he was throwing up all over the place.
Jesus.
And
What, did you
and
take too much? Or?
I think he took
No,
too
it's
much.
just- well,
It's a date rape drug.
yeah, I'm like, dude, that shit's gonna probably make you pass out anyway.
He took it with alcohol too,
Oh,
Okay, that
wow.
was it.
because he was like, "Yeah, do this. Yeah, that's fine. I'll do it."
Well, I can't imagine
Yeah.
that. Like, it probably gives you a dizzying effect too if you're trying to actually stand up and do shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, so that could probably be what led to puke also. I still don't get why John Stamos would do that though. That almost it's not
'Cause
to
he's
get
getting
laid
older.
because John Stamos has like a license to get laid at this
He's getting
point.
older. And
It's
he's
not
more relevant as an actor.
Yeah, but like
In the show, he
who's
has-
asking John Stamos to like take his shirt off and shit? You know, like
show-
Young kids who have
Women.
abs.
The television show is
Women
about a
and gay
sexy
men.
grandpa.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying
it's
though.
about a
is
gilf or whatever you want to say.
Jesus.
sexy grandpa.
It's a sexy grandpa.
Sexy
and they're like,
grandpa.
"How are you a grandfather? He's got abs. He's looking all nice.
He's like
sexy."
he's like a business guy, isn't he? Like owns a company or something.
I don't know. I didn't watch it. I just
I
know
just
the
saw him.
trailer.
He was wearing like a suit and he was in a fucking like a.
But this is besides the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
We were
this
talking
is
about
all-
GHB.
We were talking about Taylor's poopy butthole and
You know, John Stamos came
And how
out.
there was
And John-
there was no
Chris Jericho.
GHB in.
But yeah, that's what
his
happened.
Maybe he's ripped now. Ripped in his butthole.
He didn't have GHB though. They didn't find him.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it was in there.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure he got GHB.
Yeah, no, it's like they
They
took
said
the test after
They said the
fact.
drug tests.
Maybe
Well,
the drink was supposed to be for his girlfriend,
maybe.
and then he drank it because they separated the two, and maybe they mixed their
Or it
drinks
was
by
in,
accident.
And then
or
Eric-
if it was on the girls' table of drinks.
And then Eric
Or-
went and like and with him and like they both kind of consensually but also drunkenly did their thing, right? And then he was so toe up though, like when he came to and he didn't remember it that he assumed he got raped.
I think it's gonna be
Or-
bad. At
Well-
one point in this show, they're just gonna cut to like Eric just like
And then
going at his unconscious
Kevin is
corpse.
gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
Then Kevin is gonna get in trouble because he fucking was trying to rape the Mexican girl.
And then he's like, "Don't tell
No,
nobody,
that's what I was
Kevin."
gonna say. Is what if the girl was on the making the team,
Yeah.
like part of those girls too? Because they said she went off with the girls and he went off with the basketball
Yeah.
players.
They're in different schools.
and
so.
like yeah, but they were at the same party.
Yeah, but
yeah, but
all
why
the
would they want
girls
her
are
to make
from
the
that
team?
school.
Yeah, exactly.
they would.
She's
Well,
just
it's
a
not-
dirty
it's
Mexican
not-
girl. They're
It's
just
not
using
called.
her.
It's not called
No.
making the team for the women. It's making the team for the guys.
Yeah.
You make the team when you get laid.
Yeah,
The guys get initiated.
and
be
she's
honest,
a female there at the party.
any of the
that makes
teenage
her fair game.
any
pretty
of the
much.
teenage girls are fair game. like pretty much. Like,
Yeah, anyone at the party
for that.
is a female.
Well, I mean, like I don't know. They're gonna tell you who that happened to.
It just
for sure.
seems weird because like
She was a
she
target.
she knew something happened to him, but she wasn't really questioning Taylor about it, which kind of like maybe if something happened to her, she didn't want to talk about it either.
She didn't really know anything happened until the
I
mom
don't.
came.
I don't think she was
Yeah.
raped. I think.
But she said that she saw him in the truck and he was like really fucked up.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that was on their
after
way
he
home.
came back with hanging with the rich kids.
I don't think
Yeah.
she was mad
That
at
was on
him
their
for
way
like leaving
back.
her at the
I'm
party.
just saying, I don't think she's being 100% honest
She's
about what she
probably not.
knows. I think
That's
there's
possible.
something more going on
She
there.
probably wanted to leave because things were getting weird with the orgy thing going on.
Yeah.
And then she went to go get Taylor, and Eric and Taylor were like done with their poopy butthole play.
Yeah.
And
There's
then
poop everywhere.
And then she was like, "We need to fucking leave." And then he's like, "What?" And then she freaks out because he's all jacked up. And then Eric takes him home, and he's pissed off because he didn't want to leave the party.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know, but this is
I
what.
don't-
But
I'll put it this
could
way:
go
if she's
anyway.
lying,
It
she's
could go
lying
anyway.
more convincingly than most of them so far. Like you pretty much can tell who's been lying at this point. That's why the coach was throwing me off, and I feel like he is lying about something still.
The
I think he
coach?
facilitated all of it.
It's probably his house.
Yeah, but how much did he
No,
facilitate?
his house, his
I
wife,
guess,
and
is
his
the
daughter.
question.
It was at what's his name's house, the Kevin.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He threw the party because
Yeah.
it was a captain's party or whatever.
God, that's so stupid.
Yeah, where were the parents? Where
Off
was
being
any
business
sort of
people.
supervision?
She's
like-
a strong, hardworking black woman.
Yeah, but they also
Yeah.
they seem to be home at night.
She
at
doesn't
least.
need to be no mother.
yeah.
No, I just mean in general, like who lets a bunch of high school kids throw a party in your house and you say, okay, well, I'm just gonna leave.
I bet they thought it was going to
I've
be a
actually-
clean party.
I've known a few parents. To
You
do
are
that.
asking for trouble.
Nobody I've ever been friends with, but I've heard of these things. They do
probably said
happen.
the coach would be there, and
Dude,
the
I've
coach
heard of
probably wasn't
parents.
there.
I've heard
Or
of
he
parents
was.
fucking like being okay with
Filming
that
everything with
and
his phone.
providing liquor.
Yeah,
Check-
so
Like,
they didn't
I'm-
have to go buy it from someone
Yeah,
else.
exactly. Like it's fucked up, but it happens.
Poor Eric. They hacked his phone. And now they know all the strange he's been getting.
They didn't hack it. He gave it to him.
Yeah.
No. The family released allowed them to hack the phones.
I thought
Oh.
that they.
So that means they got all of Eric's messages.
But
He didn't
Eric's-
consent to it.
Eric straight up said, "Check my phone for Taylor's messages at least."
At
Yeah.
the very end.
To
He
prove
did-
that he
yeah,
didn't
after
rape him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's after he tried to commit suicide.
Yeah,
But-
I'm just saying though that
But they consented to it. Now the whole family knows that like Eric's been doing a little butt wrangling with a bunch of other dudes. I
Yeah,
think
he's-
he's more worried about going to prison.
He's more worried and all about people finding out he's gay. it
Yeah.
sounded like.
that's what I'm saying though. Is like he thinks that being found out gay will fuck with his basketball shit.
Not
That's the
even
only
just
reason.
basketball. Is any of his friends, anything like?
I don't think
he
he'd
thinks-
care if he didn't think that would affect the basketball scholarship. Personally, I don't know.
Have we do we know if he's getting a scholarship?
I
yeah,
just think
that's all they were talking about at the end.
I think this.
Yeah, they said he was on a basketball scholarship. I could have sworn.
The Kevin kid.
Are kids really having
Eric.
these
Ah, but
issues still?
he has a
Like,
3.5
No,
I thought
the-
gays were
GPA.
way more
No,
accepted.
Eric
that was
isn't
the
on
that was the
scholarship.
parents of the Kevin kid saying
Yeah,
that
but that's the only
Kevin
time
would
that-
be fine because he has.
I know that's the only talk about a scholarship though. They weren't saying Eric had a scholarship.
Eric said something to his brother about the scholarship. I could.
Yeah, that's why- that's
or,
why-
or Eric's brother
that's why-
said it too.
he
was
That's
like,
why
"You're
sending
gonna
you
get
to the
one."
good school
That's
so
why
you can get
Eric
into
is-
a good college on a basketball
Yeah.
scholarship. Well, I'm.
That's
over
why
here at
Eric is in the good
shitty
school, and that's why the fucking
Brother's
younger
in
brother
the-
is in the other
But
school.
that means he already would have had a scholarship when to go to the school.
Yeah.
No,
No,
I
He
no.
was
don't
saying
think
that he
so.
was good at basketball. That's why he got to go there.
No,
Yeah.
it's more like I think all the families putting all of
It's
their
a high school.
resources into
Yeah,
his
you can
private
get basketball
school.
scholarships for a high school. They said it in that fucking part where him and his brother were sitting there talking about it, and his brother said,
He said
that
so
he
you
had-
could get a scholarship.
Yeah, so you can get a
No,
scholarship.
no, that's what Eric said to his brother. His brother said to him, to Eric, that's why you're there. It's the basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he
we're
can get a
talking about the
scholarship to go to college.
We're talking about college.
Yeah, not a scholarship for private
A free
school.
ride to go to college. Eric's brother said that. He said, like, you're going to that school. I'm stuck at this school because you're going to that school because you're good at basketball, so you can get a scholarship to go to college.
Yeah.
A good college. And I'm stuck at fucking
public school,
where
the
the
blacks
blacks
and the
wanna kill the
Mexicans.
Mexicans.
Like I've been saying the
Yeah,
whole time that
75,
no
25,
time
but
there was ever a scholarship.
I still think
yeah,
that's what
I
he
don't
said.
remember. I don't remember hearing anything. I remember hearing about getting one from being there.
There's no reason for
I-
Eric to be there other than
Yeah.
a high school basketball scholarship. Because
Aside
otherwise he'd
from
be.
the fact that he's trying to get a scholarship for
Then-
college.
Yeah, but
That's
why
what I'm
is the
saying,
other
whole
kid there?
family is
That's
pulling
why
their
the other kid's
resources
trying
to
to
get
get
Because
back
him
mom
into
and dad
that
are putting all this
school.
money in you so that you can go there.
Yeah, so
And I'm
you can
stuck
get
at
a
this fucking piece of
scholarship.
shit
And we know
because
there's
they care about
financially-
you more than me.
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about. And he was like, and then you're gonna fucking leave, and then I'm gonna be stuck with this shit, and they're still not gonna care about me. But yeah, that's American Crime because. So you were completely right about Taylor being bisexual or
Yeah,
gay.
yeah.
Yep.
He's bi.
He's bi.
Oh,
'Cause
he's-
he
at
was
least
totally
he's
getting it on
curious.
the couch.
Here's the problem I have with that.
With the girl.
The problem I have with that is that's a stereotypical personality for him.
For who?
For Taylor.
The way he's acting.
The way he's acting is very stereotypical. The way that Eric is acting is very it's not stereotypical. It's
Actually, I think Eric's is also stereotypical.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
what
he
the jock,
seemed-
the gay jock?
Repressed.
Well, repressed,
Um,
trying to like overcompensate.
hiding it from everyone.
Yeah.
That's true, but the way that he's acting is not a stereotypical
Yeah, it
gay.
is. Yeah, it is.
Is it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I've
Is it-
seen that like before in real life.
That's real life though. But have you ever seen it in the real life, the movie life, on TV?
Oh, you mean like
Oh,
a stereotype that you see? Yeah, you
Yeah,
see
I'm
it
talking
on-
about television tropes. I'm not
Yeah,
talking about
no, you
real
s-
stereotypes.
True Detective season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The angry gay.
The
I
angry,
didn't watch it.
repressed,
I gave up on
in
it.
denial, gay
Someone
guy.
who's like they hate gay
Taylor
people. 'cause
Kay.
They've
they're
done
gay.
it. They've done it in all.
That's TV now though. But I'm talking about how Taylor is like TV '90s
Wait, what?
stereotype.
I've seen it in a lot of high school dramas, dude. To be honest, like it's actually usually centered on the jock because the jock's always the one that's
That you
like
wouldn't expect.
calling other people faggots, and then you see him like slapping ass in the locker room, you know, and then like
And then
you end up like finding out somebody's giving him blowjobs or the other way around and some.
Man,
Or-
his
or
butt's
Z
still
jobs.
nice.
Yeah. No, but they're both stereotypes.
What's a Z
so
job?
If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Yeah, it's a fake thing.
It's
Oh.
from Beer Fest.
Okay. The
Double
Rusty
Frog,
Venture.
man. Oh, okay.
They never did explain that painting. Why Frank was fucking freaking out when he was looking at it.
What are you
And
talking
it's
about?
always sunny.
Oh
No,
no,
you're
Nazis.
thinking about Nazis.
Yeah,
was talking
like,
about
why was he
Venture Brothers.
thinking about that
Yeah.
shit?
I was talking about Venture Brothers, the Rusty Venture.
I was
You know,
hoping it did have to do with Froggy.
It's some really gay shit, I think.
I think,
like a mustache ride or something.
yeah, or I thought Brock said that it was when you jack off too much and then your dick's all red and sore.
They had a whole
Wait, what
bunch
the
of
fuck are
different
you
ones.
talking about?
Remember the prom episode of Venture Brothers?
There was a section
No.
Remember when they-
thing
remember-
called a Rusty Venture.
Yeah, one of the guys was like, "I'll give you a Rusty Venture."
Oh.
He's like, "You don't even know what that is."
None of them could agree on.
Yeah,
what
where
actually-
the
Yeah.
where the gay guys were like arguing and they
Yeah.
kept
It's
coming
fucked
up
up
with
because-
like new things.
Because
Yeah,
when
the
these,
double frog
when
man.
those were made, he was still like a 12-year-old boy. So all these sex things are made for like
Yeah.
Johnny Quest.
One of them was
yeah.
like you take a snorkel and you put it in your butt and your dick at the same time, and then you work the crank until you spin in your own jacksie.
Jesus.
That's a double
Jackson.
frog man. That's the double frog
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. So,
All right.
wasn't what's his
awesome.
name? Shore Leave.
Yeah,
Talked
Shore
about
Leave.
That one.
Yeah, Shore Leave and Colonel Gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking love that show.
Yeah,
Colonel
it's
Gentleman's
good.
awesome.
He's
fucking
just.
love that show.
The
Gay
gay
Sean
Sean Connery.
Connery,
Yeah, it's such a great idea.
I'm gonna be glad to talk about that.
What?
Venture
Bros?
Brothers, yeah.
I can't wait for it to start Sunday.
Should we? We don't have to at all, but should we wait till there's 2 episodes to watch and talk about it? Or
I'm not sure if the first episode's gonna be a half hour long, but I think we should rewatch the special and then watch the.
I haven't
new one.
watched the newest special. I don't think.
Oh, then we can do it. Then
Okay.
we can watch those two.
I don't
Yeah.
think like
Because it's on.
honestly we're gonna have so much shit to like be talking about in the future anyway that like it won't matter if it's like a 20-minute episode or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We
We've
can
only
still
got
just
4 episodes of X Files left. Like,
well we can
Right.
just gleam it though basically like say our little piece on it and then be done. I can't think of anything else for American Crime. I know that there's something else that it's gonna fucking bother me.
Does it have to
But-
do with the Kevin's family?
Andre
'Cause that's
Three-
all they really touched on. Was they touched Kevin's family a little tiny bit. We got to Eric and his meltdown, and then we
Most
saw
of it was about
Taylor. Yeah, Taylor trying to kiss his girlfriend, and then find out that she's been getting secondhand dick.
Second-
Yeah,
second
whatever it
dick
was,
smoke.
it couldn't have been.
Yeah.
What? Secondhand dick smoke?
It's-
Okay.
It doesn't make sense.
Alright, well, let's move on to the X-Files then.
Oh yeah.
X-Files back after
14
15
years.
14, alright. For season 10. There was actually a season 10 comic book written by Chris Carter.
I remember those comics.
I haven't
Who
read
published that? Do you remember? Was it IDW or Dark
no, it
Horse?
wasn't. I don't know.
I think
they were
Dark
it was the
Horse.
same one that did
Dark Horse sounds
the
good.
season the next season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer also. Like it was one of like several shows that got an extra season.
Smallville.
Yeah, Smallville also. So it
Charmed-
had to have
Charmed
been.
had
It
a
had to have
comic book
been.
too.
It had to have been DC
Oh,
then or something. Like maybe Vertigo.
Oh, wasn't Dark Horse DC?
No, Dark
No.
Horse is its own thing.
Dark Horse is in
I
DC.
could have sworn as a kid I saw Dark Horse Batman comics.
That's because they
The
partnered
crossovers.
for it.
And
They
it was
partnered for that.
Batman
was-
versus Predator. You're probably talking about.
Oh no, it
It
was,
was
another
something
one too.
detective.
IDW.
Detective.
It was IDW.
No.
Yeah. For
Okay.
X-Files.
It was Batman and what's his name? Hellboy. Batman and Hellboy. Have
There
might
is
have been
also
it. That
one
might
of
have been
those
it.
as
Yeah.
well.
So I just remember seeing Batman on the cover and then the knight symbol, the chess piece. You know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
their icon looks like.
Yeah. They
But
did good.
I wonder though if like the comics like had to do with the same stuff or not.
Oh, maybe we should read them.
Yeah, just download them. We could read them.
I will someday, but
They must be fucking weird.
They look cool.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
the art was cool.
The art was good.
Art looks good.
Who made it? IDW?
IDW.
This is back when IDW actually fucking gave a shit about art.
What are you talking about?
I feel like the
Every
IDW
one of their
stuff
every
now
once
is
in a while,
kind of
some of their
crap.
comics are good.
I don't know.
Like the Ghostbuster stuff just doesn't look cool.
Well, like you can disagree with the art style, but I don't think it
Okay, that
necessarily looks
doesn't look
bad.
so good.
Yeah, that was a cover shot. The inside art is usually
Inside,
No,
not,
there were a
not as good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look how Scully's face is all.
Yeah.
She looks like she's
Ooh.
They look
Yeah.
like someone made those out of clay.
Yeah.
They just don't look like the same people. And
That's
there
the problem
were,
I have with
There were
IDW.
other frames though that
That's
yeah,
the problem I
like
have
look,
with
that's
comics
like
in
in the
general.
actual comic and it looks good. That one too.
I have some
It all
problems
depends on
IDW's art. I don't know. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's really bad.
That's the same with
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Vertigo has the same
varies
issues.
widely. Even like
I've got a bigger
when
problem
They're
with
connected to each other.
I've got a bigger problem with books that switch artists in the
Between-
same issue.
yeah.
It's
Oh.
all like, oh, the first 6 pages are really good art, and then you get fucking 15 pages of really shitty art.
you know what
and
that
then
is?
I know, it's because of time constraints, and
Yes.
they need two artists to get the actual like
Yeah.
framework done and
The thing
whatever.
I don't
but like,
mind-
it
Filler
still
artists.
looks really
The
gay.
thing I don't
Doesn't
mind
look
is
good.
when the action scenes are better animated than any like other talking scenes, because that's okay. Like,
Yeah, that's fine.
those are the most important parts. Like for you to be able to tell what the hell is even going on.
Yeah, the action
I just
stuff.
don't like the lack of consistency within a book. Like it's like, dude, you could have like had this guy do this book and then this guy do the second
Well,
book
there's-
and like split it up time wise like that. And I'd be completely fine with that because it wouldn't just be like, oh, I flipped the page and
There's
then oh shit,
variations.
this is completely different than what I was just looking at.
There's variations with even just the same artist and issues though. Like sometimes,
Sometimes.
the people just look bad in certain scenes.
Yeah,
Sometimes-
but that's not the point. It's still like the same style.
Yeah.
Like you
Sometimes.
can't get around that with an artist that is on the level of somebody doing comic book art. At least their style always will look pretty much the same. It's just whether or not they can draw the same characters. Anyway, to the X-Files.
Yeah, getting back to X-Files.
How did you guys feel about this first 2 episodes? Did you guys feel like you were nostalgic? Was it nostalgia, or did you feel like, okay, it's not exactly what I wanted, or did you get
Actually-
satisfied?
Well, personally, I felt like they actually went like a cool direction with it,
Yeah.
where they're like taking all of these like modern like conspiracy theories and like ones that have been around for a long time, and they're trying to like actually tie those into the already existing story with like
Yeah.
Smoking Man.
Yeah, Mulder seems to already know.
Yeah, he knows what's up. And
Wait,
Yeah.
what do you mean? What do you mean he already knows what's
Well, like
up?
when they mention things of the new conspiracies, he's like, "Yeah, of course I know that stuff."
No, but that's what he always did. Like he would always be like, "Oh, we're talking about this tribe
the
in
X-
South America,"
Right,
or
but
like
the X Files
something
have
that
been
happened.
closed for like 15 years. It just means that Mulder stayed on his shit.
He
And-
knows-
Yeah, but
Yeah.
or he already knew about it.
He
when it was
knows a
in the
lot
X-Files.
about that stuff. He just doesn't have proof.
And
Yeah.
he
Well-
said in the intro that like just because the X Files closed, that didn't mean that he didn't like stop working. He like kept going.
Well, he just constantly like reads about shit. It sounds like anything and everything, whether or not he thinks it's like true or not. He'll like listen to a story, and he catalogs it, and it all goes into this like list of shit that may or may not be real. But no, I like how like when the original X-Files was on, right?
Yeah.
There was this climate of like, oh, you believe in aliens? Oh, you believe in conspiracies? You're a fucking kook. Oh, you're so kooky.
Yeah.
Like, and that's kind of how the show played on that. Like, they called him even Spooky Mulder and stuff like that, and he had these names. But, like, flash forward to now, and, like, there's a lot of conspiracy theories, specifically in the United States. And, yeah, it's cool how they, like, played into that. It's cool how they also have a bigger pot to draw from now.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the stuff that they mentioned in this first episode are things that you've seen, like, people talk about
Joe
in
McHale's
conspiracy theory
character,
videos.
Chris Carter came out and said it's basically like most of that stuff is directly based off fucking Alex Jones.
You know who Alex Jones is, right?
No.
Oh, he's
He's this online
He's the
fucking
Young Turks
reporter
guy.
guy. He
It's-
just basically talks about a lot of stuff that would be considered conspiracy theory.
Oh, okay.
Just look it up and you'll see he's kind of crazy, but all that stuff is basically directly from shit he's talked about.
he's been around for a real long time though. He's
Well,
like
I noticed that like the reason why we're not saying like, oh, aliens are, you believe in aliens, you're kooky and stuff like that, is because the internet blew up.
Yeah.
And then
now there's
like
a lot more evidence.
because like Gillian Anderson's character, Scully, she was like, she said something and then Mulder complimented her for knowing it, and then she was like, I've been in
Pre-Google.
this game pre-Google.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like anyone with the internet kind of like blew up, and now everyone kind of believes that maybe these things are actually real, which
Well,
gives
we're
a lot
more
more credit to
connected.
them.
I actually like that line, the pre-Google line, if only just because anybody who watched the original X-Files was
Were
actually
pre-Google.
pre-Google.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When it was on, at least. And so I was like, damn,
I'm pre-fucking
that
Yahoo,
dates a
bro.
lot of people. We're pre-internet, dude.
Yeah.
Like, the X-Files is pre-internet.
Actually,
the X-Files started in that
we're
era.
grassroots internet, like federal internet, back when it was just FBI used.
I use Wayne's World as a benchmark of the world at its pinnacle right before the advent of the internet.
Wayne's
like,
World?
right before. Yeah, it's just okay. Well, no, think about it. Like, it shows like the everyday like routine of kind of a wash up, but
Yeah.
without the internet. So he's doing weird shit, like he's going to a donut house, or he is like hanging out with his friends, but he's not calling them on phones and stuff. And he's got a public access show in his mom's basement.
Fuck,
Like,
I wish I had a public access.
Right?
show.
yeah, no, it looks
do
awesome.
some weird
Dude,
ass
he's got a
shit.
crazy soundboard, and like that basement is enormous. It's like bigger than my whole house. Square
Yeah,
footage
it had a lot
wise.
of toys in it. I remember.
Yeah, and they're just
Man,
beating the
I
shit
want
out of it with wrenches and
I
stuff.
want a public access show.
Well, we basically that's what YouTube is now.
I guess that's basically what we're doing now.
Yeah,
we
it's
can't
just
see
YouTube.
us.
Yeah.
I have ideas about that.
Yeah,
by
I
the
was
way.
gonna say we should get
talk
some
about it.
masks.
Yeah,
We should
makeup.
blue screen and then make it Wayne's World's background.
That would be cool.
We
Or
should
Pee-wee's
just
Playhouse.
no. We should just have fucking Deep Blue Sea playing
Yeah.
constantly in the
Just
background.
LL Cool J's dancing behind us.
We should have the Titanic
No,
scene
no,
where Leonardo DiCaprio sinks over and over again.
That would
Weird
be
shit.
cool.
But no, I liked how it tapped into that for sure.
We should all wear green
I
shirts,
also
too.
liked how
Blue
it
shirts
kind of retroactively took all of those past episodes that seemingly didn't have to do with like the main alien plotline
Yeah.
and made it part of the alien plotline.
Yeah.
Like, oh well, the guy that eats the brains, well, he's just got some alien DNA.
Yeah.
And oh, the guy that lives in the toilets, he's just got some alien DNA.
They
you
always
know?
sort of did do that.
There were a few times, but it wasn't like this in
Well,
depth.
they just confirmed it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Like,
implied.
They were just like,
yeah.
why is it deviate? Why is his DNA weird?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's just a freak.
Because I think they really kind of cemented it in the first movie where it showed the cavemen fighting that alien underground.
Yeah.
Because the aliens were here even back then,
Yeah.
which means they had enough time to like merge our DNA through people getting infected with the black oil.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't think that they wrote like a portion of those episodes, at least not in the first like 3 or 4 seasons, with that in mind. I think they were legitimately just like, oh well, this one's gonna be an offshoot episode.
Do you
This
remember?
one's gonna have nothing to do with the aliens.
Was the pilot episode the one where the little guy was like going through the doggy door and eating people? You remember what I'm talking about? Like that little freak.
That was
No.
definitely
that
not
was the circus like episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy
That
had
was the
little,
one in Florida.
That was first season though.
the guy had the
freak
like,
shows, right?
Yeah, he had like a what was it?
Conjoined twin.
Yeah, conjoined twin that would separate off and go out.
Yeah, and then it would eat. You go through the doggy door
Yeah,
and then
it was
eat
like
someone.
Adventure Brothers.
Yeah,
It
and
was
then it
like,
would come back. That was first season though, right?
No.
no,
I think
that
that
was
was
like
like-
season 2 or
Yeah, I
season
was gonna say at
3.
least 2 or 3
okay.
seasons.
That freaked me out.
Yeah, that's a weird one. There's a lot of stuff in that show
I
that's
just
pretty
stomped the
weird.
shit out of
Open
that
your
thing.
mind.
Dude, that one guy eats it. The puzzle or the enigma.
The
That's
enigma,
right.
yeah.
He eats it. He's the dude with like the puzzle,
I remember.
like tattoos all over him. He's a real freak. All of them in that episode were real freaks.
There were so many.
And they filmed it in a town for like circus people.
Oh, really?
Like where they actually live.
Filming wise, I thought that it looked much better, but also retained the old feel of the show.
Yeah.
Glad they got the same music back.
Yeah, same intro.
Yeah.
The
Not
exact
just the
same
intro,
intro.
but the composer.
I thought
that
maybe they
had.
were gonna try and remake the intro though.
Yeah.
But they just fucking went completely old school with it, and I
Yeah.
like that. Cause like the last
That's the
season or
nostalgia.
the last season or two though of the other show, or I mean of the original show, the original run,
Yeah.
had a new beginning and it looked like shit, and a new song by the way.
I call it
don't
the
know.
Dogged intro, but
Which is bad because I actually like Doggett.
Even for a little bit, Doggett was the old intro, and then
Oh.
they changed the graphics.
that's true.
Do you think Doggett will come back?
I
So like a
don't-
cameo?
I don't
Do you think?
know.
Like I hope you at least for an episode.
Come on, Doggett. Come on, Agent Dogmeat. I want him.
Jason Patrick, come on.
I was thinking
Um,
he was gonna be like further up in the FBI now or something.
Like he's Skinner's boss.
Yeah, I liked fucking the Skin Man. I liked him. His character seems very much like it used to be. He's a little more serious now, post 9/11 or so
Yeah.
he says. Which, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Like the FBI would be a much different place after 9/11, especially if you, I don't know,
Did the
weren't into the
terrorists
fear
have
stuff.
alien DNA?
Yes.
Is that why 9/11 happened? Because the aliens.
They were showing pictures of it when they were talking about false flags. So
I actually have a theory that we could talk about when we get to it because I know we aren't there yet. But I have a super theory.
Wait, why aren't we there yet?
You want to get there?
Well,
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, what's your theory?
So my theory is, remember when they were talking to the Russian chick and she said that sometimes you can't have their memories like taped over, basically?
Was she Russian?
Yeah, she was Russian.
The one that thought she had alien
Sveta
DNA,
or
right?
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah.
Okay.
She was.
Sveta?
She's like Russian
Sveta,
or some
that's right.
some Slavic,
Yeah.
some
Eastern
Slavic thing.
European.
Yeah, Eastern European, definitely. But anyway, so remember how she said you can't have your memories copied over sometimes? Like sometimes things leak through.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. Mulder and Scully have this inclination that their child was adopted out to protect the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They
But
showed
what if-
it, they showed it
They showed it, but what if that's just a memory that was implanted?
in the original series? They showed the baby getting sent to the parents.
We actually.
But what if that's
Like, as a
what
baby.
if,
It could be
right? But what if that's just the memory being implanted?
We actually
I
have a
had
separate side theory.
about
And-
that.
We came
And
up with
because they
I
showed
did,
they showed both of them with the kid, and like the kid grew up and they both looked the same, and then aliens happened, right? So what if, since this stuff is happening, it just kind of like unlocked their brain a tiny tad to
The only-
open up these memories and kind of leak some stuff through that they got. Yeah, these kids got.
The only reason I say no to that is
something.
because some of those the if those are to be memories, right, wouldn't make any sense. Basically they all follow the form structure of a dream, and like a familiar dream, like Scully's dream mirrored Mulder's dream in the way that it was like, oh, there was them doing something together, like the parent and the child. And then it was like them dropping the kid off somewhere, and then there was like some horrible accident happened to the kid. Remember, like
That was the girl-
Scully,
that was-
Scully's.
that was Scully's.
He got hit by the car, and then in his, the kid got abducted.
Right.
Remember, and then the kid's face turned into an alien too. and
Right,
whereas-
but that doesn't have to mean that it's a dream. It could also mean that it's like some kind of distortion in the memories being mixed.
well, we had like a theory too on what that meant.
Yeah, go ahead. I want to hear it because this is exactly what I've been waiting to talk about.
Part of it was like maybe that the kid might have known them all his life because he has alien DNA, and in the show they showed him like having like powers. So basically, he might know them. He might not have ever he might be conscious as a baby, you know.
Yeah.
Or that all those things were actually happening, and so he knew them from the dreams. Or
Well,
something
I figured that it was like them, like he would visit them in the dreams, and he lived out his childhood like while he was away from them with them in their dreams. And that's what I got out of it, at least, was that he was connected to them even though they weren't together physically. They were mentally together. Is what I got out of it.
I saw the dreams as like a representation of like the worst thing that could happen for each of them. So for like Scully, like the worst thing that would happen is like the child dying, right? Or
Was it?
like
I thought it was like turned.
You said
into
it broke.
Yeah, it turned into an alien.
Turned into an
Didn't-
alien.
he
didn't
turned into an
die.
alien, but didn't he like get run over or something
No,
like
he-
that?
Yeah, but he was fine.
broke
He had
his
a
arm or
broken
Oh.
something.
Remember, he was
That's
like,
right.
Was all floppy looking.
But like she's a
It
medical.
wasn't floppy.
She was a,
The
she
hand
was
was
a
just
medical
down the
person
side.
though, so like that would be like a really scary thing for her.
Yeah.
And then for Mulder, he's obsessed with aliens.
Yeah, but there was foreshadowing too, because the kid was like, "I'm gonna go into the sky one day, Dad,"
Yeah.
and he was like, "You will, son," and then he went into the sky.
Yeah, and they did play with like a rocket, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They even counted down.
yeah.
He even had a launch pad key controller that had to have a key to unlock
get
the
'em.
ignition.
Yeah.
That's so like cool.
Have you
though.
ever launched off a
That's
model
so rich,
rocket?
kid.
I've only launched ones where I didn't have to put a key into a thing.
Yeah, no.
Or have like a controller to do it.
Yeah, no, ones that have like a solid rocket engine, you basically have to put a little igniter up in there.
Yeah.
And then you have like a control box thing. You, like not all of them you have to put a key into, but it's basically just like a
Yeah, I had one of
a
those.
simple circuit.
Yeah, I
What
had
I
one of
was
those.
Click.
Now that I think about it, what I was talking about, like staying together through dreams, right? Didn't that happen in Steven Spielberg's Taken? Like, weren't there a few characters in that knew each other only through dreams?
No, they knew each other through the abductions.
Yeah, but I thought a few of them psychically were linked also.
I mean, they
Like, a
kinda,
few of them
they
remember
kinda,
the
like,
repressed
felt
abductions,
felt
right?
each
But
other.
there were, like...
Like the two parents of the girl didn't meet until later.
I could have
like,
sworn there was some
outside.
shit like that. But, like, in this, it's, like, proposing that there were aliens, right? But that really everything has been the government, and they're trying to take us over, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember why they said that they'd even want to take us over, though. Did they even say why?
Who, the government?
Yeah, why the government would want to assume control over us like that?
So they can control us.
Yeah, but why? Like, what is the end goal? Like, why is that better than what they have going on now?
Because then we have no free will.
But why is that better?
It was something about enslaving us.
Yeah, I'm like.
For what, though? I mean...
I think they would get rid of money completely and then
so
make
they
us
could have
dependent on
ultimate
them.
power.
Yeah, so that like no one else could try to match them in money, and then they wouldn't have to bring new people into their group.
Oh, it's to make a one world government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The NWO.
I don't understand why that's...
Because you have to control everybody before you can do that.
It already feels like...
Because now, for certain things, they have to ask permission. If there's a one world government,
They just say
then
it.
yeah.
Yeah, but they kind of only have to put on...
The air
The-
of
yeah.
asking
Yeah, but they wouldn't even have to do
permissions,
that.
But they wouldn't even have to do that.
And I'm sure the presidents and the quote unquote leaders of the world don't even know that this is really happening. Like there's something else.
Most,
Oh, I
most
think-
of them probably wouldn't.
I think that there's a good... if this is close to the truth, I think that a lot of the leaders actually know what's happening. At least in the United States leaders, the president
And
knows.
England.
All the people basically visiting the Bilderberg group, like every year, behind closed doors. Not the
Yeah.
ones in the open areas, but like behind closed doors.
Mhm.
I feel like no.
How'd you like that UFO that was there? That fucking warped.
Oh,
I thought it was great.
the one that went invisible?
It didn't just go invisible, it warped. He said
Yeah.
it quantum warped.
It basically wasn't there anymore. It was kind of phased out of reality a little
Oh,
bit.
is that what was happening?
Yeah.
I missed
Yeah.
that statement.
That's why he went like this, and he reached
It
up,
was gone, yeah.
and it was gone, and he was like, "How did you do?" And they're like,
It's
"Quantum
like
warping, blah
it's
blah
like
blah."
dark matter. It's like
Yeah.
it's not. It's like slightly out of phase. With
I
our
thought it
reality.
cloaked, and then I was like, "Oh shit, it's gone."
Well, because if it's slightly out of phase with our reality,
We
then
can't see
then
it.
light can't touch it, which
Yeah.
means light will pass straight through it.
Which is crazy. I'm surprised they didn't do that before it got attacked.
They're setting this up kind of like Crystal Skull, where like the ending's gonna be like the aliens coming back and spanking the humans for like attempting
From
to
what I
use
can
their
tell,
shit.
yeah, I guess. But from what I can tell, is that what I kind of took from it was maybe that the humans have been doing this the entire time, and Fox Mulder and Scully have been doing it backwards, thinking that it was the aliens that were the cause
Yeah.
of everything. But it's really humans fucking with shit.
Oh, that's
Well, that's the
definitely it.
premise. That's the
definitely
premise.
it.
But in the
for this.
original series, they even went back and forth in it being
The
just
humans
all
made a
humans.
deal
and,
with
no,
the
no, no,
aliens.
sometimes for a little bit, Mulder just thought it was all humans. That everything was just a conspiracy made for people to think that aliens are real.
Yeah.
And like so, they're still kind of going with that where like I
Because
don't,
after the smoking man like laughed in his face and was all just like, "You think that's what happened?
Yeah.
Haha, this
Yeah.
is what actually happened. None
And
of it
then-
had anything to do with aliens."
and I still
And
don't
then-
think they ever got the truth. really.
Well,
Like,
isn't
even
that-
even
isn't
now,
that-
I don't think this is really what's going on.
Isn't that though when the movie happened, and then he found like that whole? Well, basically he saw the spaceship fly
Yeah.
away and shit.
Well, he found they found
the
fucking-
bees.
Found DK with the black oil.
Yeah.
And then they found then he turned into the alien, remember? And killed Dale from Walking Dead. They turned that area underneath. They built like a compound on top of it. And then the alien hatched out of the kid.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
forgot who Dale was. I got him mixed up with Herschel. I remember now. That wasn't the kid though.
Yeah, it was.
No, that wasn't. They found an actual alien down there too.
Mm-hmm.
The alien hatches out of them.
No,
Yeah, it does.
no.
Because that's what happened in the very first episode back from the movie. They found that guy whose like body is all translucent, and the chest was blown out, and there's an alien in his
Is that
house.
what happens with the alien blood in people? How come
With-
Krychek lived through it?
See, that's where I think
How
it's
come
different.
Scully lived
I think
through
it's
it?
different because she didn't get the black blood.
She
Black
just got
oil.
the implant.
I could have
Yeah,
sworn
she
that
was-
they just found it like frozen in the fucking wall or some shit, which wouldn't really make sense
That
because
was
it wasn't
that
even that
first
deep. But
alien that they found at the beginning that was with the cavemen.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one that comes to life down there in Geet's Dale. I thought.
No.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Dude, they
I
kind
think
of
you're
show
getting the
it.
two movies mixed up.
No.
No,
Just
there
the
aren't
other
any
movie.
aliens in the second
Yeah,
movie.
the second
Oh,
one it's
okay.
basically like psychic bullshit.
It's not even psychic bullshit. Like there's
It's
an inkling of
sorta
one.
is. It's just kind of like
Isn't
a
that like
true
remote
crime
drawing or
psychic.
some crap?
Something like that.
I don't think I trust Joel McHale's character. I think he's gonna turn on him.
That fucking
Dude,
Chewie
I don't-
guy.
Yeah.
I don't
Disappeared.
trust him or the Setva or whatever.
Sveta's
Sveta-
dead.
Sveta.
She's
But even
blown
if she
up.
wasn't,
Yeah,
I
she's
didn't.
gone. Oh yeah, you're right. They did blow her up. Remember
Yeah.
at the end?
She's dead.
Yeah.
Well,
But I mean,
I
even while
thought
she
you
was
meant
alive-
just like, oh, she's dead. You know, like
Yeah, no.
Even if she was alive, I didn't trust her. Like
Well, I
she
mean,
seemed
she
like
did
she
have
was
alien-
lying
she
about a
just
bunch
cracked
of
like
She
shit.
an
does have
hair.
alien DNA though.
she didn't know what to
She was
believe
just
because
birthing babies.
she'd been misled in a lot of ways already. It seemed like fucking.
That's right.
I
The
did
government
like.
was going to make it look like aliens did it so they could take over. It would be their excuse to have a one government owned world.
Well, they were saying that the crash in Roswell was like Russia trying to have done that in the 40s. Like that, but they failed because they covered it up then.
Yeah.
And we
so
showed
they were
the-
gonna do it.
we showed X-Files showed the footage of the guys finding the fucking body, or they shot the alien dead.
Yeah, they really shot that fucking alien. I liked how the second episode seemed like it kind of.
I had to explain
Kind
it
of-
to my girlfriend, by the way. She
What?
didn't even know what... My girlfriend didn't know about the Area 51 story.
Oh, or Roswell.
Because she's from Japan, she doesn't understand this, so I had to explain to her like what may have happened, and she freaked the fuck out because she said she's seen UFOs in Japan.
Yeah.
There's there's like ancient fucking manuscripts, like some of the earliest writings showing like UFO shit from Japan
There's
stuff.
cave paintings of things that look like UFOs.
Well, like also, what do they call them? SFOs or whatever. Submerged, or no, it's USOs. Unidentified.
submerged object.
Yeah, where they'd come out of the water.
Yeah, my cousin
that
saw
happened
one.
a lot in Japan.
My cousin saw one in
Happens
Santa
everywhere.
Cruz.
Happens everywhere, yeah.
Yeah.
My cousin saw one in Santa Cruz. And he told me the story. I'll
Christopher
tell you
Columbus,
later.
there's
It
a
was
lot
a
of-
bell UFO, the bell-shaped one.
Christopher Columbus saw like a cigar-shaped one coming up and down out of the ocean on his way over here.
Really?
It's in the notes of their trip. Yeah.
It's crazy.
I liked how in the second episode, even though it kind of still had to do a little bit with the alien DNA type shit, like with the kid who could do the hearing thing and the girl who could like speak in people's minds.
Yeah.
I still liked how it kind of felt like an offshoot episode, like the other ones did.
Yeah.
But I also kind of was thinking in the back of my head, like, okay, well, I'm glad it's an offshoot episode because these are kind of my favorite X-Files episodes, but also, fuck, we only have 6 episodes.
Yeah, we can't have too
We
many
can't waste
offshoots.
this shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
But it wasn't just
It
offshoot.
had
also
story
it had
elements,
directly
too.
related to
Yeah.
It
about the
did.
alien DNA.
It was directly related in a few ways, but it still felt like it wasn't focused like the first episode was on the plot, you know?
It was backstory on what happened to them, and since
Actually, you're right. There was a little backstory too with the kid, the flashback, weird dream images.
It did a lot of stuff to set the new world.
I thought it was gnarly when that dude stabbed himself in the ear.
Yeah.
Like I literally screamed out. I was like, "No!"
I laughed when that dude tried to suck his dick.
Yeah. No, I don't know if anybody else is having this problem, but like I'm basically like
That doesn't
having
happen
a
to me at parties.
no. I'm having a hard time not imagining like David Duchovny coming on to everyone in the cast.
Yeah.
Oh
Like-
yeah, he's got a sexual problem.
Very big sex problem. But like,
But so does Gillian Anderson.
I'm like,
right?
dude, you
Really?
don't. Yeah.
Oh, they should be
I
banging
could have
each other.
swore she was a
I'm
sex
pretty sure
addict
that's what
too.
happened. Like in the original. No, seriously, it would make sense. Like, I think Skin Man got made into a sandwich a few times. It wouldn't surprise me
I
at
don't
all,
know about
dude. They're
that
sex addicts.
And
Like,
the guy
why
from
would-
Grey's
not.
Anatomy.
So Skinner probably likes sex.
Oh
then.
no, sex addict. Oh no, David Duchovny. Oh, my butt.
They're offering it. I gotta
Oh,
take it.
he's raping me, but I like it.
Just like Taylor
Yeah.
on American Crime.
Yep.
Boom.
I just
That's how we do
imagine like Scully being all like, "You only get me if you go through him first."
Oh god, I get to watch.
And Skinner's all like,
I can't look at her without thinking of all the construction she had done to her face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Even
really
though-
apparent in that first
Even though when they made her
episode.
look young, they did a really good job.
Yeah,
Really?
like the
Yeah.
only real thing that's standing out to me is the nose. Everything else, like I could see as like the natural course of somebody's face changing over 20 years, you know. But the nose is obviously
well, I mean, your
like,
This-
cartilage keeps growing.
The scene
Yeah.
where she's
Get
talking
older.
to that
it
old,
still looks completely different though. It's like a different shape.
the scene where she's talking to that old nurse. I was telling my girlfriend, like, you see that old nurse? She's the same exact age as Scully.
Yeah.
You see the difference between these two people? Huge difference in face. Like, that's what she should look like.
You can always tell a person's like real age
By
by the
her
way
neck?
their neck looks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't look at her neck.
She's got little riblets on her neck.
Yeah.
I will say,
And
even
her
though
hands. You can see how old they are
Yeah,
by their
the
hands.
hands.
I'm happy to see
Because they
David.
don't do plastic surgery there.
Yeah, you can't get rid of liver spots. They're stuck.
They can. Skin bleaching.
Even though I'm happy to see David Duchovny come back, I will say, man, he looks fucking wrecked. He's a little haggard.
Yeah,
It's not like
he still
his
looks like
face-
Californication.
his face like looks just like, I don't know, like he's been taking hard drugs for like years, which
It's alcohol.
maybe alcohol. That's
to the
possible.
character.
Like it does, but like the part that I can't get past almost is his voice. It's like it's like almost like he's struggling to make himself sound like Mulder used to sound, and it's kind of sad.
I think it's because he's been stuck being the Californication character, where he was like snarky and unlikable
Jokey all
and
the
jokey
time.
and
Yeah.
like drugs and sex and partying and music.
It just sounds like he took up like smoking as like a major habit or something. Like his voice just is all rattly and old sounding.
He's fucking old.
Well, he's been 14 years.
Yeah, you gotta remember his face is also constructed.
I get it, but like it's also like it makes me think of like old guys that just sound super grizzled, you know, like fucking fisherman status, and it's like, okay, this is how that happens, I guess. Like it's
Yeah.
like just that they fucking partied too hard or some shit like that.
Watch Mob Wives and listen to Big Ange talk.
Right?
Is that
That's
Sounds
the one with
this.
the big lips, right?
Yes.
The huge ones.
My name's Big Ange, and I listen to.
She looks like a man, basically.
Sounds like
Yeah.
the guy that made Miss Doubtfire into a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that dude. The guy from Independence Day.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say
Yeah.
that.
And,
the guy that works
wasn't-
with David at the TV
Wasn't
studio.
he wasn't he the bad guy
David!
in
David.
the bad guy in Everybody Loves Smoochie?
Death to Smoochie.
He was
That's
one of
the
them.
Smoochie
He was
guy.
the guy that
Everybody loves Raven.
Yeah,
Raymond.
he was the
And,
guy that worked for the charity
Death to Raymond.
foundation.
And everybody loves Smoochie.
and he's in something else too. Oh, Birdcage.
Oh yeah, gotta
Was
have
he
him
in Birdcage?
I think so.
I thought that was it was Robin Williams and
Nathan
Nathan
Lane.
Lane.
I know
yeah.
he was in that too. But
Man,
Even if he wasn't in Birdcage, though, he would have fit right in.
which show are you most excited for next week?
Oh, what's
From
going
the
on?
ones that we just watched. I think X Files is my show that I want to watch. And Venture
Yeah.
Brothers, which is we didn't watch, but Venture Brothers is coming.
Yeah, I'm like, we're not talking about it, but for me, my show isn't on this list.
What is it?
Pretty Little Liars.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Game of Thrones, and I was gonna say Right On Sister, but no.
Man,
I'll be
It's not
excited for
on
Game
yet.
of Thrones when it comes on.
I don't-
That'll definitely take the top spot.
albeit I wasn't paying much attention while you were watching it, but I'm not even sure what you could be excited for in Pretty Little Liars. It doesn't even seem like... No, I mean, like, it doesn't seem like shit even happened in that episode. It's like almost just going... There's been 2 episodes now, right? And they're just now getting back to the A shit.
3.
Yeah, it's like, man, they're fucking really just spinning in circles here. They don't seem like they know what the fuck they're
No,
doing.
it's different because this time, okay, like we know who A is, and what ended up happening so far this season is basically the girl that was A, Allison's sister, Charlotte,
she ended up dead in front of the church.
Yeah, but like,
having been
what I mean
pushed
is,
off of the
like,
bell tower. And
what
they
are
think
you
that
looking forward to? Is what I mean.
I want to know who murdered her. I want to know who murdered her. I think it was Fitz.
You know what?
But they're telling me that it's Fitz, which means I shouldn't believe them, and that
You know how they stupidly write this shit? You know
Yes,
it's not.
I do.
You know it's like they don't
that's
even.
part of the fun.
You know they don't even know who it is, and you know
Yes.
that they're gonna pull some shit out of their ass like right at the very end. So it's like it doesn't even matter what any of the plot said up until that point.
That's right, and it's just like
I don't understand
silly,
like how you could look
stupid
forward
fun,
to that.
like
Oh well.
because it's stupid and I can enjoy it. Like it doesn't have to not everything you watch on
Okay.
TV has to be like the best of the best.
But yeah, X-Files is probably the show that I'm looking forward to the most next week out of the ones we just watched.
Yeah,
Second-
X-Files and Venture Brothers for me is like what I want.
Second
Wow,
would be
wow.
The Magicians. American Crime will get me back on to like wanting to know what happens next once they drop another plot twist.
Yeah,
I hope it like happens in the next episode.
I kind of felt like the plot twists are already out of the bag.
I don't think so. There's got
I
to be
want more.
Yeah, there will be.
Yeah,
Believe
well,
me.
I mean, we still have the whole process for American Crime to go through.
Yeah.
Of them investigating. They're still trying to figure out what even fucking happened. At this party.
Did they do the investigation part even in the original? I can't remember.
You mean in the
First
first
season?
season?
It got to,
Yeah,
it got
I know
to
it got to
the
the court case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't really show the investigation part. They kind of just brought up evidence in the courtroom, right?
Well, I mean,
It showed the cops talking to people.
yeah, it showed the cops and the families talking together.
I just remember them
it didn't
getting to the court case and then fucking
It didn't show
Timothy Hutton being all like, "What? He dealt drugs? Oh shit! What? I didn't know my son at all. I'm a bad dad." No, that's what the whole premise was.
I don't think it specifically showed the cops gathering evidence in the
okay.
crime scene, but it did. They did reveal evidence and they did investigate by talking to people and stuff like that, like you would do in a criminal case.
I'd like to have Evan do those voices and sum up a whole series, a season, in 2 minutes with the voices, so that people can catch up without having to watch it.
All right, tell me what series did you,
I'm a bad dad.
leftovers.
Boom!
Yeah.
The Leftovers in one big long run-on sentence.
Yeah.
And weird voice. I could do it. Seasons 1 and 2.
Together.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's pretty much it. And
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the next X-Files, man. I'm sad it's 6 episodes.
I kind of am, and I kind of am not,
Do you think they're
because
setting
I
up for
just
a
don't
movie?
want it to end. And every
Well, see, that's
episode
what
that we
I'm.
watch,
That's what I'm
it's
hoping. I'm
getting
hoping
closer.
I'm hoping it's gonna be like Twin Peaks, where it's like six episodes is them testing
Yeah.
the waters, and then if it does really good, which I think it is doing
We'll
good.
get a full-fledged
Yeah,
another season.
then
That's
Fox will
what I
give them
said
a
too.
full bundle of money. I'd much rather see them spending their money on a show like this than fucking. I guess even to a lesser extent, Lucifer. Even though I'm never gonna watch that show.
Yeah,
I'd
I'm
rather
not watching that.
I'd rather have them spending their money on that though than more Glee.
Yeah.
Fuck
Glee's over, I
Glee.
thought.
It is, but I mean,
Oh, okay.
dude, how many seasons does that go on for? At least
don't know.
5.
I didn't watch it.
More.
Yeah, I'm like, it was on for a long
Long
time.
time.
I didn't watch that shit.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying is I'd rather have them spend money on something that I would deem worth watching.
But on
Which
that